Hello everyone, welcome back to the another lecture. As we all know, we have been learning full stack development here with the language Java. I welcome you wholeheartedly to this amazing next lecture. So, let us quickly go back and revise what we have done in the previous lectures. In the previous lectures, we had learned about what is Java, history of Java, right? And then applications of Java, platforms that Java has, right? We also learned about the OOPS concepts that Java has, and we learned a lot of things there, correct? So that was what we did in the previous lecture, and in this lecture we will be actually learning about few fundamentals of Java, as in like we'll be learning about tokens, we'll do a sample code, okay? We'll see how you can download your GTK file. We'll learn how you will be able to, compile that code with command prompt. How will you set a path? What are variables? What are, data types? What are operators? And all of that we'll do in this lecture. So yes, as always, stay with me and yes, sync with me so that we can sync together and be in the same page. So let us start. Yes, I can hear that yes, monotonously, amazingly from all of you. So yes, let's start with the topic called tokens. Okay, we'll be talking about tokens. Now let us understand what is a token. Okay, let us understand what is a token. So when I have to explain to you what is a token, I simply will phrase it into this way. It is, individual or smallest individual, it is smallest individual unit of Java program, or you can say Java code. Okay, now it is the smallest individual unit of Java code, which means that tokens are of different types, or of 5 types, and those 5 types, if you make it together, you have the Java program in front of you. Now what are the 5 types of tokens? What are the 5 types of tokens? First of all, we have keywords. Now what is a keyword? A keyword is a predefined word in Java programming. It is a predefined meaningful word in Java programming which you cannot use as your variable name or your class name, your function name and all of that, because it has a predefined meaning. As in like we have int, we have main, right? We have try, we have catch and so on. So there are many keywords. We will show you what a keyword is in a chart formation. Don't worry, I'll show you. Now these are predefined meaningful words in Java coding which cannot be used apart from its particular meaning. So let us say int is nothing but a data type which can store integer values. So its only work is to do that, right? We have main is nothing but the main function of Java. So it has to be defined, and hence you cannot use this word as well. We have try, we have catch, and we have many others. So this is what a keyword is. That is why we call it a key word, because it has the key features, it has a key meaning that Java provides it with. Okay, now let's move on to the next token as identifier. We have identifier. Now what is identifier? What is an identifier? Identifier, if I need to tell you, is an identity. Is an identity of that few modules in the Java code. For example, the class name, for example, the function name, the main function and all of that. It is an identity of that particular thing. Let us say if you need to call me, what am I? What is my identity? My name, right? My name is my identity. If I go outside, people will call me out by name. That is my identity. My profession is also my identity. Similarly, every Java programming, as in like class name, Okay, this class is identified by what? Its name. This class is identified by its name. We also have function names, variable names, right? These are identified by what? By the name they have. By the name they have, the identity. So that is an identifier. That is an identifier. Next we have constants or literals. Now, a constant or a literal by the word itself means fixed. When I say it's fixed, okay, in short, its value cannot change. Its value cannot change. Okay, for example, we have multiple predefined values or sets, or let's say the main function. Let us give you main function. The value in main function, whatever it is, the value of main function will not change. No, it will always remain as the main function. Or if you have a constant value, if I assign a variable with a value that is 10 until I print it, that is my constant. And we'll also come to this const word later on, which will fix the value and not change the value. Now, the next one which we have is separators or punctuators also you can call it. Okay, separators or punctuators. What is a separator? A separator, what it does is it separates one block from another block, okay, or one statement with another statement, as in like the curly braces that we use is a separator. We use semicolon, that's also a separator, and we have few more which we'll learn later on. Okay, so currently we'll be using curly braces and semicolon as a separator. Okay, as a separator. Now we have one more, and I'll write it here. Okay, the fifth one, this is nothing but your operator. So when I talk about operator, here in token we focus on arithmetic operators or your mathematical operators. Let me frame it that way. So what are your mathematical operators? I can hear you. Okay, so it is plus, minus, right, multiplication, division and modulus. We'll be talking about what modulus is in later on when we go to the operator section. But yes, this is my operators. What it does, it helps to operate two variables and give a result. Addition, subtraction, multiplication. We'll go in detail of everything. So this is my entire Java code. So in a Java code I'll have keywords, right? I'll have keywords, I'll have identifiers, constants and literals, maybe later on. So we'll have separators, we'll have operators, right? And all of this together, what it does, it makes a Java code. It makes a Java code. Now let us see a sample Java code. First we'll do it here and then we'll do it in the system after installing JDK and all. Okay, so first we have what? We have the class. We have the class. Okay, and let us say I want to give my class a name. Let us say it should be sample. So sample is the identifier of what? The class we just learned. Then I'll open a separator. I'll open a separator so that my class is separated from whatever block is inside. And then I'll have my main function inside. Okay, let me write it somewhere here. I'll tell you the reason why. I'll have my main function here. And then I'll again change my separator, use my separator, and I'll have a statement inside this block. I'll close my separator for main function, I'll close my separator for class. So this is a basic thing how it looks like. Now there are few things that we have to do. Okay, we have few things that we have to do. Now since this is a main function, okay, since this is a main function, we will also call it as void. Void is nothing but we are saying that our main function should not have any return type. Since functions can also have return type, as in like whenever you call a function, it should have a return type. Okay, and what is the function's return type? It is defined by the data types, as in like it could have been int main, you could have character main and all of that. But here, since we don't want to return anything to our main function, because the only work of main function is to start the program and end the program. Java program, you remember, always starts from the main function and ends in the main function. Even if you have not created your main function, by default it is created. Okay, so we say that we don't want any, okay, return type. So what do? We say it with void. Void is nothing but it also means null value. Okay, it also means null value. Now we will also call our main function as static. We all know the meaning of static. Static word itself means stagnant, firm, right? So when we call our main function as static, we simply mean to say we don't want to change any meaning that is there in the main function. Okay, now after that we call it also public. Now public is nothing but an access specifier or access modifier, we can call it. Okay, so we have private, protected, right? We have all of that. Now we call it as public because we want to say that this main function should be public to every access specifiers or people, in short. So this is our public specifier, public access specifier. So this is the entire my main function. I'm gonna say that we don't need a return type, so it should be void. My return type here is void, so that it doesn't return any value. Static, so that the main function should be stagnant, static, and we have the public access specifier so that it should be for public. Okay, now inside our main function, what are we doing? We are accepting a string array type argument. Okay, we are accepting a string array type argument. So this box, okay, this box bracket signifies that this word is a argument or a name of that string type. So when we say that this entire block is argument, okay, this entire block inside this main function. So when we'll come to functions lecture, you'll understand what an argument is properly. But always remember, whenever you're calling any function, that function can accept arguments and it has a return type. Okay, here we are not having any return type. We are saying that we don't want any return type. Okay, and here in the argument section, we are accepting string array type argument. We're accepting string array type argument. Okay, we'll discuss about this later on, why string argument type, so that when we come to the string section we'll understand this better. But still, for now, just remember, in this main function we are accepting string array type argument. Okay, so it becomes easier when you are throwing any exception basically. So this is what my main function looks like. So we have the class name sample, we have the main function with void static public. So we always write it this way: public static void main string args. Now this args is nothing but arguments, we basically mean. So this can have any name. That args can have any name. Okay, it's not mandated to write args. We write args so that it becomes easier for us to understand. Okay, now since our main function block is done, we get inside to the statement block. So this section is nothing but it is statement block. Okay, it's nothing but this is statement block. Now whenever I say statement block, you have to understand that what we are doing is nothing but, whenever we call it as statement block, we are just providing few statements here which we want to execute. So let us say I want to print something. So I'll do system.out.print. Okay, I'll do system.out.print, and in bracket, inside this bracket, okay, what I'll do, I'll give double quotes and I'll write hello world. Okay, so we are giving a statement like system.out.print, and we are saying print hello world. We are saying print hello world. Okay, now the system.out.print is nothing but this is also a system defined function. Okay, now you might be asking, I'm using this word function so much, what is a function? So always remember, anything inside your bracket, curve bracket, is your function. Okay, so this is my printing statement, system.out.print hello world, and this is my complete Java sample programming. So what will my output be? My output will be hello world. Okay, my output would be hello world. So now you might have understood what a token is and what a sample program looks like. Here if you see this sample name is an identifier, main is an identifier of what, of the main function, right? We have these as separators, right? We have these as separators. Now apart from this, what else do we have here, right? Keywords like static, public, void, main, all of these are keywords. String is a keyword, right? All of these are keyword. The class is a keyword itself. System out print, all of these are keywords, right? And since you have not used any operator, we'll come to that we'll learn that operator in the operator lecture. Okay, so this is what my sample program looks like. This is what my sample program looks like. So let's move forward and let's see how can you install a JDK file in your system. Okay, how can you install a JDK file in your system? If I come to this section, okay, if you all can see my screen here, yes, what we will do is in this section I'll just type in JDK. Okay, I'll just type in JDK and I'll press enter. Once I do that, I get a page where I get Java downloads from Oracle. So the first link itself I'll click, and now I'll come here and you'll see Java 18 and Java 17 available now. Okay, and we are already inside the Java 18 block, and since my system is Windows, I'm gonna go to Windows. If your system has Linux or Mac, all you need to do is install your desired package. Okay, if it's Mac, download the installer file, okay, into DMG installer. If it's a Linux, you can go with RPM package or compressed archive or 64 RPM package. If it is Windows, we'll go with into 64 installers. So this section, into 64 installers, if you see, we will just click on this link. So once you click on this link, what will happen? Your JDK file will get downloaded. So as I said, if you see, your JDK file has been downloaded and it's ready to work. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll double click on this file. Okay, I'll minimize my screen and I'll just wait for it to come into my screen. Okay, now once you click on yes, what will happen? This will redirect a dialog box into your screen and you will be good to go. Okay, and you will be asked for few installation process. You just have to click on that and then you are good to go, and your Java file will be, or your JDK file will be installed in your system. Okay, so let us see in the screen. So it takes a little time. My screen is not like Yash, okay, rocking star Yash, so it's like something else. But anyway, so here we get the pop-up message, welcome to the installation wizard for the Java SE Developer Kit 18.0.1.1. this is the version. So I'll just click on next. So yes, see, program files, Java, JDK, all to be same. Don't want any changes. I want to save it into my program files. Okay, and I'll just press OK and see what is happening. It will now, okay, it will now update and install all all those libraries that we have spoken about, the development toolkits and everything. Okay, it will install everything into your system. Okay, so it's just extracting installers. It'll give you all the libraries that is required. Everything will be installed in your Java, okay, JDK 18.0.1.1, and you can access it from going to your program file. So that is what directory I have given to it. Okay, now once it is done, okay, I will tell you how you can set the path. Okay, how you can set the path. Now it's almost successfully installed, so I'll close this, and yes, we are good to go. Okay, we are good to go. Now when I say that our JDK file has been installed but still will not be directly able to access it, you might ask me why. Because you have to set the path sometimes. Sometimes by default your path has, your system sets the path, but sometimes you have to do that manually. So there are two types to set the path. Okay, so if you ask me what are those two types, one is temporary and the other one is permanent. Okay, one is temporary and the other one is permanent. Okay, now don't worry, I'll show you both the ways, temporary as well, permanent as well. Now before that, I said we have installed the JDK files, which means we have also installed the Java C compiler, the Java class reader and all of that, Java doc and all of that, right? So how will we access to those files right now? Using our command prompt. Initially we will do it with the help of command prompt, and then we will actually do it from IDE, Integrated Development Toolkit, and I'll tell you how to use those integrated development toolkit, as in like we have Netscape, we have Eclipse, we have IntelliJ and all of that. So we'll be especially using Eclipse here, and I'll show you how you can install Eclipse as well. Need not worry about that, but that is in the next or later lectures. Okay, so here let us see and understand how you can set your path. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we'll be setting our path. Okay, we'll be setting our path. So as I said, there are two ways to set your path. Okay, now before setting the path, what we are gonna do is we will write a small Java code or our Java sample Java code in our notepad. Okay, so all of you can see this. So I'm just opening my notepad. Okay, I'm opening my notepad, and here what I'll do, I'll just write my code. So let us say this is my class. Okay, here I've given the separator. Here I have my main function, public, static, no return type, that is void, and then I have main. Inside this I have string array type arguments. Okay, I have string array type argument, string args, let us say, I'll keep that name only, and here I am giving two box brackets. Okay, and this is my main function, all of you. Now here I'll give the printing command system.out.print. okay, and inside this I'm giving two double quotes. Inside the double quotes I'm gonna write hello world. Okay, I'm gonna write hello world with an exclamation mark. Okay, and I'm giving my semicolon here. Remember, semicolon has to be there after every statement. Okay, I've closed my main, I've closed my class, but there's still one mistake, because my class doesn't have a name. Yes, so let us say I want to give any name to class. It cannot be a keyword, right? It cannot be a keyword. So what I'll do, I'll give it let's say Siddharth. Okay, I'll give it my own name, class Siddharth, Sidharth. Okay, class Siddharth, Sidharth. Okay, now I'm gonna save this file as, I'll go to file, I'll go to save file as. okay, and I'll get this section, but I'll remove that and I'm not going to save it as document file. What I am going to save it as is, I'll again write Siddharth, my name only, for this file also, dot Java. Okay, what have I kept? Siddharth dot Java. Java dot extension Java file, and I'm going to change from text documents to all files so that it can be saved as Java file only. Where I'm going to save it? I'm going to save it in my desktop. Okay, so here I have saved this and this is good to go. Okay, there's no problem now. We have everything. We have our first sample code written properly into our system and notepad. Now if you close this, if you just hover around your file, it will clearly show you type Java file 115 bytes and data modified when so and so. Okay, data modified so and so. Now let me go back to my thing. Let me go to my PC. Okay, let me go to my local disk drive. Let me go to program files, go to Java, go to JDK 18.0, what you have just downloaded, and go to Beam. So if you see here, your server modules are, here is your consoles, location, all the libraries that you require. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll just go to this Beam. Okay, I'll just copy this. This is my directory path. Okay, I'll just copy this and I'll minimize this. Okay, so I've copied that and minimized that. Now I'm gonna open my command prompt. Okay, I'll open my command prompt. Here, since my file is saved in desktop, first I'll move towards desktop. If all of you can see the screen. Okay, I'll move to desktop. Here I am inside the desktop now. Now I'll tell you how to set a path temporarily. Okay, so temporarily what will you do? You will just type in set path is equal to, and okay, sorry, I just did Control C. We'll do it again. Do write set path is equal to and Control V, whatever directory you have chosen. Can all of you see this? This entire block. Okay, you are setting the path directly in the command prompt, and all you need to do is press enter and it is done. It has set the path for you. Now let us also learn simultaneously how can you compile a Java code or the code that we have written. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'll use the compiler first, Java C. Okay, and I'll write the name of the file, that is Siddharth dot Java. Okay, I'll press enter. Since my path has already been set, it will compile this code. Okay, it will compile this code. And now if you see what will happen, now I just need to give the name of the class Java. What is my class name? Siddharth. So he's saying I've compiled the file Siddharth.java and let me know the name of that class. It is Siddharth. If I press enter, I'll get the output, that is hello world. Can all of you see this? Amazing. We've got our output, hello world. So you have done your first coding of Java, okay, the sample code using command prompt. By how? By temporarily setting the path. By how? By temporarily setting the path. Now what do you mean by temporarily setting the path? It is simple, but now every time if I close my command prompt and if I open my command prompt, again and again I'll have to first set the path and only do the compilation. Okay, but if you do that permanently, you don't have to set the path again and again in your command prompt. So now let us see and understand how can you set your path permanently. Okay, how can you set your path permanently? Now if you also see, by default Siddharth.class file has been created. Okay, has been created. Now what am I going to do is, in the type here section, I'll just type environment. Let's make sure, guys, first we are trying to understand how to set your path permanently. Okay, so that you don't have to do that set path equal to again and again. So here if I write environment only, I'll get this best match. Edit the system environment variables. I'll just click on this and it will redirect a page in front of me. System properties, in which automatically I'll be inside this advanced section. Okay, I'll be inside this advanced section. Here if you see in advanced section, you will see in a small button environment variables at the bottom. At the bottom you will see environment variables. Just click on that and you are redirected here. Now what will you do? You'll just click on new in your user variable for whatever administrator your environment variable is. Excuse me. So I'll just go for new. Variable name should be path for me. Okay, it should be path for me, and variable value should be the directory it is. So see, I have to copy that directory again and come here. So here I'll go and I'll copy it, and here I'll come and I'll paste it. Okay, now if you see here, already in my path I have the directory of JDK because I had done it previously only. So if this is already there, you don't need to do it. If it is not there, don't do anything. Just go to new user variable, write the variable name path, and just give the variable value, copy that directory, and just press OK. Automatically it will update the path for you. So here you are writing OK. You'll press OK here once you've done that, and again in the system properties you'll click OK. So once you do this, you don't have to again and again, let's go to command prompt. You don't have to again and again write that set path and all of that. You can directly go to your desktop. You can write java c, and the name of the file siddharth.java. It'll get compiled automatically, and all you can do is write java, and all you can write is java and the name of the class, that is Siddharth for me, and voila, you've got the output. So this is very important. If your environmental variable path is not set permanently, please do it quickly, so that it doesn't become a problem for us to use command prompt as well. But in the later run, of course, we will be using Eclipse. Fine. So let us jump to the next topic. So yes, we have learned a lot until now, right? And we have executed our first Java program, that is print hello world, using command prompt. So now let us get more insight, deeper into the Java concepts. So in this lecture, or in this session, what we'll be learning is variables. Now we'll be learning the variables. So whenever I talk about this term variables, what comes to your mind? So whenever I say variables, a variable is nothing but whenever you're storing a value, let's say 10. I have a value 10 and I want to store this value somewhere so that I can use it later on. So what I'll do, I'll create a variable and I'll store this value. So here this A is my variable. So variable is an entity basically which can store values of different data types. So that is my variable. So if I need to tell you, so that is my variable. Now if I need to tell you how to declare a variable, what do you need to have is data type. You need to have the data type, and here comes your variable, and after having your variable you can give a semicolon. Let us see an example. We all know in the starting of the session or during the sessions I've told you int is a keyword and also is a data type. So it signifies integer data type. So what do we do here? Int a, we are specifying this variable is of integer data type, is of integer type. So it can only store integer values. So we will talk about dynamic declaration later on. Here we are just declaring a variable this way, right? So first I am declaring a variable with a data type that it can store a value in. So here I am just specifying this A is a variable that I have created of integer data type. Of which data type? Of integer data type. Now after that you can write this line and you can assign a value to a variable. Now there are few things that you have to understand when you are creating a variable. Okay, you are creating a variable. The first thing that you should understand before storing a value to the variable, before storing a value to any variable, the variable must be declared. When I say declared, I also mean initialized. Okay, int a and semicolon. So here I have declared my variable a to be of integer type, and now I am storing a value 10. So the first rule you should understand, before assigning any value, your variable should be declared with the data type. Okay, your variable should be declared with a data type. Okay, now another point is your variable cannot be the same name as a keyword. Okay, as a keyword, your variable cannot have those keyword names. So as in, like, I can't give here variable int as a int main. I can't do that. I can't do int main because main is my main function. Main is my main function, right? So I can only specify it with a, not the keywords. Understand that. Okay, now next other rule is a variable, okay, should be short and meaningful so that you can understand. Now don't write int abcdfg like that. You know, it will become more complex for you to do the code later on. Now another important point is a variable name should always start with, okay, a variable name should always start with what? With either underscore or any alphabet. Okay, so example, if I need to tell you, I can do int underscore abc, okay, or I can do int, okay, abc. Okay, either start from alphabet or start from underscore. You can't start $abc, okay, as in like int $abc, and all of that you cannot do. Okay, and also remember, a variable name can never also start from any number, okay, as in like int ab or something like that. It can never start from a number as well. So it will only start from these, either underscore or either alphabet. Okay, and you can have these numbers later on, as in like ab1, ab2 and all of that. You can do that later on after starting it. Okay, and yes, also remember that these rules are important for all of you to understand and follow. Okay, it cannot have a keyword name. It should start from an underscore or an alphabet only. Okay, it can have numbers in between or at the end, not at the first. Okay, no symbols it can start off with, right? So these are something that you should know when you are naming a variable. And how you declare a variable? You declare a variable in this way and you assign a value in this way. Now this is all for today. Thank you so much for being a part of this lecture. In the next lecture, we will be talking about dynamic declaration of a variable. We'll be talking about dynamic declaration of a variable. We'll also be talking about data types and the operators. So thank you everyone for being a part of this session. And yes, I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you.